Listen to this. Back when I was growing up, they always had this commercial, and it was about some rural areas back in the Soviet Union where the elderly were living in very desperate conditions and they were asking for donations for help. So I came to age and I started donating because I always wonder how people end up like that, how people end up at all age so despair. One day I was talking to this old man. He was a 91-year-old man. He was a European, and I asked him, were you in Europe during the World War II, right?" He said yes. I said, "What happened?" So he told me how from one day to the next his life was uprooted. He used to have perfect family, business, and everything, and all of a sudden everything went haywire, upside down. Had to run away, and he ended up here in America. So after having that night, that conversation, we I asked him before we part ways. I said, and I honestly asked this question because I've been watching through life how people can be so uprooted out of nowhere and end up in desperate situation. So I asked him, "Do you think that I that there is a probability that that could happen to me?" And he said, he said, "If you live long enough and you don't pay attention, one day war and hell will find you." That was the best lesson I ever had in my life. So I'm always very aware of what's going on so that you don't end up